Welcome back to Method Cooking with David. This week we're going to touch on inventory. Not necessarily your classic inventory where you have 3 cans of this, 2 pounds of that, 4 pounds of that, but just a better idea of the food you actually have at home. Since we're not following recipes, we just need to have a vague idea of what kind of proteins, what kind of vegetables, what kind of canned goods we have. Today we're over at my grandparents' house. They are self-quarantined with everything going on. So behind me is the Custom 15. This deep freeze has been in their basement for over 60 years, still running like a champ, and is absolutely packed to the top with food. So what we're going to do is go through it, kind of put together some rough ideas, and see what we can come up with. So besides a huge difference in temperature, your freezer and your cupboards are very similar. You'll buy things for your freezer, put it in, then you'll buy more stuff and more, and they'll start stacking to the point that you'll forget what's on the bottom and in the middle. You'll open it up, see what's on the top, and think you need to buy more of what you've already got. Same with the cupboards, you put in cans, buy new cans, and everything just shovels to the back, and until you move out of your house, you don't realize you got a can of corn from the 1940s. So what we're going to do is kind of show an easy way to take inventory of everything and have a better idea of what you've got. So what most people do when they try to take inventory of their freezer is they'll open it up, look at this just mess and mass of food, and then just start piling everything to one side, and you'll never actually get to the bottom because you either give up, there's not enough space, or just so much of a mess you throw your hands up and we're going out to eat. But what we're going to do is folding table or a card table over so that as we empty it out, we can see exactly what we've got, and having all this extra space, we're able to empty it completely to the bottom, and then when we're done, we can organize the different sections of the fridge so you know where the bread, where the vegetables, where the fruits, where the protein are, so that when you do come down to just kind of see what's for dinner, you know exactly where to grab, and it's easy to put together a whole meal. We just got done emptying the smallest compartment of the old Custom 15 here. The easiest way to do it is to have a card table nearby. This allows you to unload all the food, see exactly what you've got, what's kind of accumulated over the years, as well as gives you a chance to kind of clean up anything that's spilled, or chip away any ice that's built up. So if you look over at the table, in that small compartment we've got everything from marshmallows to ground beef, pork chops, bacon, popsicles, peppers and beans out of the garden, hash browns, some spices, bread, some blueberries, and some pretzels. And I'm sure at one point they kind of put everything like, oh, I'm just going to stay here just for a second, I'll deal with it later, and then just like slowly accumulate it. This way you can look at everything, see if something's freezer burn and it's time to get tossed, see if it's like, oh, I didn't realize we had ground beef, I was going to buy some at the store, so you can thaw and use that, as well as the spices. I'm sure those have been down here for a while, because they get to the bottom and you just forget about it. Same with the cupboard. But with the cupboard it's easier because you've got your counter space, so sometimes just take every can out, see what's expired, see what's dented, see what you bought because it was on sale but you know you and your family are never going to eat, and donate it, because there's no reason to have there taking up space. What was just on the table, kind of that random assortment of food that we pulled out of maybe like a quart of the freezer, I put together a few ideas. Again, there's no recipes for these, and you'll never find a recipe for them because this is kind of weird stuff to put together, but it's good flavors and good food. So we've got an appetizer of some bacon and chicken stuffed poblano peppers. Then we're going to go to kind of like a loose meat sandwich, almost like a sloppy joe. We're going to have some ground beef with some hot peppers, top it with a little bit of mozzarella cheese, and we're going to put it inside a brat bun. After that, we've also got a couple pork chops, a bag of fresh lima beans, some hash browns, and then in the back, the dessert is going to be some natural blueberries and some pretzels. Again, I don't have recipes. I mean, you could sear off the pork chops, you could grill them. With the chicken, you could poach it, you could slice it. It's just, again, method cooking is just kind of the idea and the concept of it. This isn't like a rigid follow the recipe, French chef. It's just using what you got. And real quick, just to clarify, the food that I put together out of what I pulled out of the freezer isn't all inclusive. You're still going to need salt and pepper. If you've got like a fresh onion, you could add it here. You're going to need a little bit of vegetable oil. So don't think it's just a matter of like throwing these all in a pot and coming out tasting good. There is still kind of like a process to it. You're still going to want to taste it along the way. Only about a quarter of the way through the freezer, and we've already got 3 meals and a dessert planned out. The next step, while everything is out, what I like to do is take just like an old grocery bag. I know when I do make these chicken and bacon stuffed poblanos, I'm going to use all of it. So I'm going to put all that in a bag, tie it off, label it, toss it back into the freezer, so when the family's in the mood for it, you're having people over, you grab that one bag, you already know what's in it, you know you have enough for everything, throw it in the fridge for a couple days, let it thaw, that way it's nice and organized, and while all the food is out, and you've already got a plan, make life a little bit easier. And when you're pulling food with larger packages, like a 12 count of brat buns or a 4-pound bag of blueberries, what I like to do is empty them out into different smaller Ziploc bags and then put those in a grocery bag, because there's no sense in thawing out 12 buns for a family of 4, and there's no sense in thawing out 4 pounds of blueberries unless you're that chick from Willy Wonka. So we're going to empty these out, put them into smaller bags, thaw just what you need so you don't toss the rest, put the rest back in the freezer once you get everything organized. Now we've got everything portioned out for the meals we're going to have. We got them in bags tied off, and I also put a little label on them. While we were cleaning it out, found a nice bag of freeze-dried pork chops, so that's going into the trash. But we've got these 3 bags ready for 3 different meals. If you're anything like me and you've got a smartphone, and if you're watching YouTube, I would assume there's a good chance you do. What I did was I created an album in my photos and took a picture of each one so I can keep track of what I've already got ready and to go in the freezer. And then as you pull out the meal, simply pull up that album, delete the picture, and you've got a running inventory of meals you've already got ready to go. We got the freezer all cleaned out, everything organized in bags, labeled, pictures taken of them, so I've got an album on my phone so I know exactly what we've got. This beast from the 1960s is run as smooth as ever, so I know all the meals that I've got, what I need to buy to complete them, and I'm not going to spend money I shouldn't and don't need to at the store. This is Method Cooking.